Hey YouTube. Yeah, this isn't a RC car or a bloody hoverboard or whatnot. This is finally another video of what I usually do. Shit compression, not smoky at all. I actually knew this to be a good engine. My suspicion is valves, exhaust valve actually. I think there's a bit of popping happening out of this muffler here. I think the exhaust valve is starting to ride a bit. Whether it's grown a bit, needs to be shaved a little bit, or whether there's carbon holding it open, I'm not too sure. But obviously before I take the cover, well, I'll take the cover off. I'll uncover this, or clean this all up first. Clean it up. You want a clean area so nothing goes yeah, nothing sneezes everywhere. Nothing goes inside the engine. So that's what you'll be looking at next. Thought I'd save this for you guys. Pulling the bolts. I cleaned it a fair bit, but a lot of it's pretty well stuck on there. And all the bolts are the same size. They talk about threads matching and all the rest of it. But yeah, I've never had any dramas. Hopefully the head gasket survives. Oh yeah, reuse that. The head is very dirty with carbon. The head gasket can be reused. I will clean that up and reuse it. Thank you for surviving. Now, carbon. Now, with the valve all the way locked down, I can... I've just had my finger on the button the whole time. With the intake valve all the way down, I can't turn it. With the exhaust valve all the way down, obviously it's on the intake stroke now, I shouldn't be able to turn that valve. That tells me that the valve has grown and it's riding the push rod on the camshaft, which is actually, you can access it from this side. So what I'll do now is, I'll skip ahead. I'll have the valve out in the next shot, and we'll have a look at it, and I'll try and shave him down a bit and put him back in, and if it don't turn, it should be right. But I'll clean up the seats and clean it all up, and yeah, it should be right. But the bore itself, it's been used. It's definitely not new. Could probably do with a hone, but it's got it doesn't blow smoke or anything. So yeah, but I can't see too much in the way of crisscross. But yeah, we'll get that all apart now. Yeah, alright, got him out. I'll give that a quick shave. It was definitely riding. These valves don't have the collets, they just have the, I'll get that out and show you. That's probably the one thing I will show you. Now, with the later models, I'm not too sure, can't remember, but there's your valve. There's your spring. Oh, hold the camera up to it. There's your valve. There's your spring. All across the floor and everything, covered in dirt and crap, just like you're supposed to have it. Yeah. Now this sits in focus. And that's him. When the spring is on there, that's him. When you pull these valves out, you're sort of pushing down on there and try and pop that out. And then you can just pull the valve out of the head, and the spring and that will stay inside the block. And then it's just a bit of a wrestling match getting it back in again. So I'll clean all these parts up. But time to take a few thou off there. Measurement, I don't know, I'm just, here's a file. Be gentle. Yeah. Alright, I'll see you in a few seconds. Something I'll show you quick. The valve seat just fell out. Like, I put my finger in there and got it out. Now it's in there firm. I didn't have any special tools. a flathead screwdriver and a hammer. That's all I used, just in a few spots. Just hammered gently, and just you're supposed to do it with a pin punch. I didn't have one, so I just next to the valve itself, just like in the aluminium block a bit, hammered it just to pinch the seat. I've done it quite a few times now, and I've never had one come out. So if you're in a bit of strife, that will get you out of trouble. Right, let's get back to this valve, shall we? Well, shaved. I went through all sorts. Ended up being this pair of pliers that I was given when I did an induction for Lithgow City Council. So a shout out to you guys. This gizmo here was hard enough to take a few thou off this valve stem, and barely anywhere at all on that. This, yeah, cheers. That finally, that's why I always hung on to it. I thought I might need to use this one day, and today was that day. So let's put this in, I'll show you. Before, get in the hole. Right, if I can get this to focus, that was moving the push rod before, now it doesn't. So it's not riding the push rod, and that's pushed all the way in. Very good. Now the intake's not giving me any dramas, but we'll see. I'll clean it up. It bloody ran rich there for a while. These are adjustable. These have the adjustable carby. So anyway, yeah, moving forward. Well, that's all back in, and this scared me for a second. Look at this. The valve turns. Oh, hang on. Put him on the intake stroke. Can't move it. Just make sure that all the weight's off that valve when you check it. I did check it the same way before, and it was definitely turning. Now, I'll make sure that intake valve is alright. One way I do is just, if one valve's open like that, the other one's not going to be open. If you understand four strokes a bit better, you would know that intake, compression, they're both going to be down, and they're both in, so I might leave the intake valve alone and just give that a general clean up, put him back together, and yeah, well, moment of truth, we'll be with you shortly.
Yeah, press the red one dry.
Yeah, it's all it's with a bit of fine tuning, and obviously the valve. Thanks for watching, YouTube. I'll see you again on my next video.
Yeah, well, exactly.